Welcome back. If Canada closes its significant AI adoption gap, it can grow to a $3.65 trillion economy in the next decade. That's coming from a new report by PwC Canada, which highlights mining, technology, and defense as key opportunity areas for the country. Let's go to Nochane Rousseau, National Managing Partner, Clients and Markets at PwC Canada. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
You talk about needing to close that gap. How far behind are we?
So if we compare, let's say, AI adoption, and let's use the US as a benchmark, we are probably at 3/4 compared to the US. So it's still a significant gap compared to the US companies. And it could be explained by different factors. One of the factors is the trust element around AI. So can I be subject to security issue, to cyber issues, or will I see the benefits of all the investment that I'm doing in that sector? Right now, we see that Canadian CEOs are more skeptical around those benefits, whereas in the US, we already see the impact.
Okay, so AI would be just one of the factors that could boost economic growth, but can you compare it to other things like, tax policies or change in regulation?
Yeah, so AI will be really the main driver because when we look at the baseline scenario, but with respect to AI adoption, there's a lot of policies that the government can do or can put in place to make sure that we have the right conditions. When we speak about AI technology, quantic computer, we are very good in Canada at the research level, but every time that we go in through development or commercialization, this is really where we struggle as a country. And this is also an area where the Canadian government can support by putting the right condition in place in policy to make sure that we keep those talent in Canada, because we have seen it in the past. They have moved to the US when they go to the commercialization phase.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the key areas you say could participate in this. Mining is one of them. What do you see happening on the mining front, or AI being used in mining to help?
Yeah, so just to start, the opportunity for Canada in mining is really around critical minerals. We have seen that the US and Europe, they are looking at different supply chain, and Canada really have the resources there. And where AI can help in that sector is really around the permitting process. So I think in average, it takes about 13 years to bring a project into production. So by using AI in the permitting and approval process, this is really where we believe that we can see the most benefits.
And we know Ottawa's already on board and trying to fast track some of that permitting, but we don't know if they're using AI yet to do it.
Yeah, and all the discussion that we have around capital projects, so we are still at the very early stage, but this is an area that we think that could be disrupt to making sure that we have the right planning and controls in place, and where AI can have a huge impact.
Okay, I'm going to skip over technology, but I do want to talk about defense and how you see AI being used in defense to help us and our economy.
So defense, like you said, is probably one of our biggest opportunity, considering the NATO commitment from 3 to 5% of GDP. So there's going to be a lot of value in motion. So it's important for the Canadian companies to capture that value in motion. Around AI, I think where it could have a significant impact if we learn from the US, where they have use defense as dual purpose. So they use it for the civil, but also for the military. So if we can develop trust around the utilization of AI to make sure that we also have the cyber tools in place that will bring trust in using AI. So we think that if we can leverage the investments that we do in the defense sector, that we can also apply that to the civil sector, it could have a significant impact.
You mentioned that Canadian business owners perhaps aren't sure whether or not they're going to get a return on investment. That could be one of the things holding them back from sort of jumping on the train. Is there anything else, or are we just more hesitant overall about AI?
When we look at the trust, yes, to make sure that they see the benefits, it's key. The second item, I think, is also everything around security and cyber. So they see the threat related to that. They want to make sure before to go further that they have the right system and controls in place. But that's one of the difference. But I will say that the biggest difference, it's really to make sure that they will see the benefits from those significant investments, because they are making significant investment both in technology but also in terms of data consumption.
Are you seeing some Canadian companies already benefiting, perhaps seeing revenue from their investment in AI?
So yes, we see that with some companies, and we can look at it from two fronts. So the first perspective is around the top line. So some companies are using that as creating a new revenue stream. So they look at the opportunity from a top line point of view. But I will tell you that many companies right now, they are looking at it more from a cost-cutting point of view, how they can be more productive, more efficient. So they are looking at some of the back office function. So human capital is an example. So they are reviewing the process. Same thing with finance. They are reviewing the process, embedding AI to make sure that they can get all the efficiencies and productivity from that tool.
Nochane, do you think that the return on investment in AI is clear enough at this point for businesses to see a way forward?
So in the US, we have evidence that they see the benefits. And I think we were a bit surprised. I think the US is going faster in terms of adoption than we were expecting. We knew that the US was adopting AI much faster than Canada, but when we saw the latest result, and for them, it also have an impact on their workforce to make sure also that they have the right skills. And we have seen many companies taking some measures. And when we look at the US economy and all the impact related by the tariffs, that have been offset mostly with the benefits that we see from AI and the gain on productivity that they have.
Got it. Nochane Rousseau, I've got to leave it there. He is a National Managing Partner, Clients and Markets, PwC Canada. Thanks for your time.